So, wanted to touch a little. That's my kind of summary for the offensive line for this week. Next thing I want to talk about though is I want to talk a little bit about Jimmy Rodgers and kind of his first. He did a one-on-one with Chris Williams earlier today. I have not had a chance to listen to the whole thing all the way through, but we did kind of get a couple clips from him and just kind of get. It's the first time we'd really heard him, more than a sentence or two from him since, uh, the press conference, basically. He's been pretty quiet overall, with his early stuff. Let me see if I can pull up. There's a nice clip here that our good friend over at Cyclone Fanatic, Jake Brend, I believe he captured it. Let me just pull it up on the screen. You guys might not be able to hear that. Let me just get this in another tab. We can pull it up in this. Get this formatted a little bit better. Okay, let's do this. Go to this, and then we will present this. Sorry, I apologize. This is not, again, bad radio. Okay, so we'll zoom in here so you guys can hear what's going on.
I got hired to do a job. I'm not going to change my standard of what I expect our program to do based off of the situation that I chose to be a part of. Mm-hmm. Nobody should feel bad for us. It's our job to get the team ready to play. Yeah, does it take boldness? It takes clear vision and a belief that you can do it. I have that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken the job. I'm excited about what we can do. I'm excited about the roster that we put together. It is about making players believe that they're better than what they actually are. It's about making a staff believe in their players and seeing them as what they can become rather than what they are at the current moment. And it's hammering a consistent message home that becomes so redundant that they don't know anything else. And I think if you do it that way and you're genuine about your approach, you tell them the truth, you hold them accountable, you love them as if they're yours, you can have success. I got hired to do a job. I'm not going to change.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, nothing like super, nothing groundbreaking necessarily from Jimmy Rodgers there. Nothing super groundbreaking there, but I like his general approach to this though, that he's saying like, this is, we know shit's hard, that college football, just the sport in the industry as a whole just kind of sucks right now. Like we know, but we're here because we think we can do a good job with it. We think we can build a good roster. And, I really like the team that they've put together. I think there's a lot of really nice players here. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a spring game. Maybe we'll get some sort of open practice. Who knows? I can't necessarily say I would blame him for, I can't say I would blame him for not wanting to have a spring game because he wants some more time to get this whole thing to gel. But, I know as fans, we would appreciate just seeing what this thing looks like. And seeing, we shouldn't set our expectations for the season based on, a spring game or something like that, especially spring showcase of sort. Okay. There you go. So he's going to do a spring showcase, which I think is great. Gives fans something to look at, something for us to see, something for us to process, which I really, really appreciate from Jimmy. So, we're going to keep this thing moving forward. Overall though, I think it's hard not to be at least optimistic about the overall direction of the program. How much we dig into the, and not how much we dig into, but like how much we can take this new roster, how much we can look at this and project out like, oh, they're going to get to this win number, this win number, this win number. Obviously we got the schedule release, which actually we can go through that here real quick. Let me pull that up. We can go through Iowa State's schedule that was released today, because I think there are a couple things in here that are worth looking at, because I think Iowa State got a fairly good draw on this here. Let me pull this up again. So, perfect, right there. So First up, we've got SEMO at home at Iowa, then Bowling Green, Utah, and West Virginia, all right in a row, just bang, 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 bang. Then you're on the road to BYU. Then finally, you've got your first bye after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th game of the season. So you're exactly halfway through. You've got your bye, and then you're just alternating Baylor, Cincinnati, UCF, Kansas State, Arizona, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Cincinnati, UCF, Kansas State on the way out. And I think this sets up really well. You don't really have to go on any major road trips until you go to BYU. Your only road trip is at Iowa. West Virginia, Utah is going to be a good team. They were good last year. We'll see. That'll be a good early test. I would expect Utah to be in the top 3 or 4 teams in the conference. I would guess. But that'll be a good test for them early, just to kind of see where we're at. I mean, besides the Iowa game, but the Iowa game is always kind of a weird one, especially because you're at Kinnick. I wouldn't hold your breath for winning at Kinnick. I mean, maybe they do, but I would not hold your breath for winning at Kinnick. But Utah's a good early test. West Virginia is a plucky team last year that won some games. They got a lot of talent in the portal this year. They really upgraded in the portal. They spent some significant money. And I think they're going to be a pretty decent team this year. So that'd be a good home game for us. Then you're at BYU, who's going to be very good. They'll bring back Bear Bachmeier, who was a nice quarterback last year. They're bringing back a good defense. You're on the road to Arizona, which I would assume they're probably going to be pretty good. They got Noah Fita back. They've got a lot of that defense back. Oklahoma State, it's hard to know what to expect from them right now. You're at home, which is nice. They brought in a lot of talent from North Texas with the new coach. Obviously, they were horrible last year. This feels like a team that could be like, with a better coaching situation, with some nice new players in from North Texas. I do think there's a good chance that they brought in North Texas's quarterback, which I'm trying to remember what his name is. I should know this because I started a dynasty. A dynasty with North Texas. Drew Mestemaker, who was a freshman last year, was a really, really good freshman last year. So Drew Mestemaker would be immediately coming in being one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. It's probably like Sorsby, Bachmeier, Dampier, and then maybe Mestemaker. Maybe you take Mestemaker over Dampier. They're going to have a good quarterback. They'll have a good coach coming in. We'll see what they are. By then we'll at least have a better idea what kind of team Oklahoma State is. But at the minimum, you're getting them at home. So, you always have a shot to win at Jack Trice. Doesn't matter who the opponent is. You always have a shot to win at Jack Trice. At Baylor, I would assume at this point, Dave Aranda will either be fired or will be coaching for his job. He gets a longer leash than most people recognize, but if Baylor is very average or worse again next year, I would assume that at this point he's either coaching for his job or he's looking for a new job at this point. So, if he's looking for a new job, you hope you don't catch the dead cat bounce and get, Baylor on a interim coach type of thing. But, who knows? Cincinnati, I'm not really sure what to make of them. They're going to lose. They're losing some big pieces on defense. They lost Brendan Sorsby. They're reloading. They lost Tyson Veit to Penn State. I would expect Cincinnati to take a step back. Plus, you're getting him at home. This would be a good game. Now, granted, it's hardly a revenge game at this point because there's almost nobody on the roster left from that game. But it's hard to say. They're at UCF. UCF, I don't know what to think of them. I don't think they're going to be very good. It's still Scott Frost. They got some talent there, but you're on the road. I'm not really sure what to make of that UCF game. Kansas State, they've got Avery Johnson back. They've got a new coach. By then, we'll have a very good idea. We'll have the best idea of what kind of team Kansas State is at that point. I don't think they're going to be world beaters, but they'll probably be decent. They'll probably be like a 7-5 type of team. So I think right now you look at SEMO, Bowling Green. See, the problem is you're looking at SEMO and Bowling Green is only like your guaranteed win. We'll see what West Virginia looks like. We'll see what Utah looks like. We'll see what UCF looks like. I'm going to say SEMO, Bowling Green, 1, 2, 3. So SEMO, Bowling Green, Cincinnati. I'll say UCF. That's 4. I want to say Oklahoma State. I just don't know what they look like, and I have a feeling that they're going to be decent. But I'll say Oklahoma State because it's at home. So that's 5. And then if you can pick off one of West Virginia and Utah, that would get you to 6. That would be a massive success. I'm not really expecting much on the road. Maybe you'll win at UCF. Maybe you pick up the one at Baylor if they're bad. But I think the road to 6-6 is going to be a good one. It's going to be a tough one. They can make it there, but they're going to have to win a road game probably. And I'm excited to see this. This is a schedule that sets up for Iowa State to have a nice run to start the season, build up some momentum. Then you can go to Arizona and have confidence and go in there, maybe steal one in Tucson, and just kind of keep snowballing from there and see what you can keep building from there. So overall, I like the schedule. We'll see what like West Virginia and Oklahoma State look like. If West Virginia and Oklahoma State are still very like below average teams and UCF is still bad and Cincinnati takes a step back, you could win 7 or 8 of these games. You absolutely can. If West Virginia is good, if Oklahoma State takes a nice step up and Cincinnati and the team is still gelling at this point, we'll see. And it'd be interesting to watch either way. So that's about what I've got for today. Appreciate everybody for chatting. Hope everybody enjoyed kind of nerding out on some offensive line play. So we'll wrap her up for this week. Everybody, thank you for watching Iowa State Cyclones live here at the Voice of College Football Network. We'll see you guys back here again next week. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to talk about next week, but we will find something to talk about next week. So thank you. We'll see you guys all again and appreciate it. Thanks.